Hello. So we're looking up the Walla River here at what is really a beautiful sight. These big mature alder trees are leaning out over the river, providing many important ecosystem benefits. One of our biggest concerns when it comes to water quality on the Walla River is temperature. Our native fish, as well as a lot of other organisms in this river, are sensitive to warm water. Today is a cloudy day in September, but all summer long we had a lot of hot, sunny days, and if not for the shade of trees like these, water temperature would increase, meaning oxygen levels in the water will decrease, creating conditions that will negatively affect quite a few species like salmon, steelhead, bull trout, and a lot of insects like the aquatic stages of mayflies and stoneflies, and well, the list goes on. So one thing I really want us to think about is a river ecosystem is made up of literally thousands of interactions between living and non-living things. Some we understand well, some not so much. We do know that when water temperatures increase, there are many examples of issues that can compound and throw off the ecosystem balance, like introduced bass thriving when native cold water fish struggle, or excessive algae or other plant growth taking over an area. So one of the best ways to protect this balance of a river ecosystem is to have a healthy riparian zone, or riparian buffer. That's these trees and other plants along the stream. Throughout history, we've manipulated the river quite a bit, in many cases unintentionally degrading the riparian zone or the river ecosystem. So this is 2020, and I'd like to talk about the flood we had in February. We had what was considered by many a 100-year flood event that caused significant damage to infrastructure as well as ripping out riparian areas in a lot of places. As you can see, the cliff is on one side of the river, and the river really does not have much room here. So we might be wondering why these trees survived in this area. Well, this is actually on the limestone property, which has seen some river restoration, including a levee setback project with a side channel. Back behind these trees, there is actually a floodplain area that when the river comes up high, the river can spread out. So while in the summertime, this main stem might be seeing only 2/3 of the flow, during a high water event, the floodplain area can probably take over half of the flow, which in turn takes pressure off these trees right here. So I wanted to show you some footage from May. Just upstream near the top of the restoration project, the water is pretty high in this image, probably 2,000 cubic feet per second, but nothing like the near 10,000 cubic feet per second we saw in February. But we can visualize what it may have been like at this location. Looking upstream, all that water would have had an opportunity to spread out on either side a bit. But when it gets down to where I'm standing here at the beginning of the side channel, the water can really spread out into its floodplain area, greatly reducing the velocity and dissipating a lot of energy over a larger area. So even these pretty young trees to the right here captured material that was washed in from upriver. On down the side channel, we're looking at an area here that may have had 3 feet of water, give or take. So again, we can see log jams that were easily captured by these younger trees, slowing water down even more, resulting in a lot of soil and rock that had been mobilized upstream by those real focused floodwaters, now settling out, which is fine here. It covered up some grassy areas, but it's part of the natural function. And we have a little water flowing through here, so vegetation should fill in nicely. So the restoration done on this property has allowed the natural function of spreading out floodwaters and reducing some of its destructive energy. This has not only saved many of these precious riparian trees, and there are many ecosystem benefits like shading the river, but another notable benefit I wanted to point out here is this area has captured a lot of trees you can see in these log jams. If not for opening up this floodplain area and reducing the floodwater energy, these trees could have been washed downstream, threatening bridges and other infrastructure. Now, it's obviously not possible to give the river more room in areas that have been developed for various purposes. But when practical, giving the river more room to function naturally can have benefits to us and an important part of supporting a healthy ecosystem.